Welcome to the RotoWire Euro 2024 show. I am Adam Zdroik. I'm going to be going over what kind of content we're going to bring everyone for the next month or so for Euros. Also going over Friday's showdown slate between Germany and Scotland that's going to get underway in about 4 hours here. If you're looking for Saturday content, we will have a video at 1 p.m. Eastern. Jack Burkhart and Ryan Belangi. I'll try and get through this one battling a little bit of an illness, but just want to show everyone kind of what kind of content we have for the next month. As you can see here, right in the front, rotowire.com/soccer. We got a couple betting articles up for all the subscribers. We got our guy, Tropical Bear, or just released a futures betting article where he breaks down every group that's available. Jack Burkhart's first betting article is also up on the site as well. I'm not going to reveal some of his favorite picks, but we got a couple betting articles up, more so future articles as we get going here. And looking through the list here, we got a bracket breakdown, staff predictions from a few of our writers. I think there's 7 or 8 writers in there, all projections leading up to the final. We got Euro, the fantasy football game over at the official Euro 2024 site. Top 150 over there in case you're playing that game. I know that is popular. It is very similar to the FPL game, so that is why it is popular. Team in the tournament, a few of our writers got together and picked one player from each team, or I guess they built an 11 where they could only pick one player from each team. Jude Bellingham, as you can see on the front there. We got, as usual, this set piece and penalty takers article. Haven't decided if we're going to put this under the paywall or not. It is our most popular article because people always want to know set pieces. But this will be updated throughout the tournament with set piece numbers. So, I mean, you're going to get this. You can click into each profile as usual, as you would to find the set pieces and whatnot, but we will update this article. So Germany, let's say Tony Kroos takes 8 corners. We're going to have in parentheses 8 corners taken by Tony Kroos. So that set piece article pretty much can be used for any kind of fantasy. It's relevant. Basically, set pieces are pretty important. So this is our most popular one for a reason. And I'll run through what we have going on. The Euros tab, not as big as some of the other tabs here, but we don't get qualification stats. I know we had people asking about qualification stats. And I guess I should mention we will not be covering Copa America either. Maybe we'll have like a betting article. We'll see what kind of DFS contests there are. But as of now, no plans in the works for Copa America. No one is paying us to provide that content. So it was not preferred that we actually cover that. So check out the Euros tab. Right on the news tab, this is basically where you're going to see, there's going to be stuff popping up like guys signing contracts and that kind of a thing. But for the most part, you're going to find injury situations for all the players on Euro 2024 rosters. As you can see here, Lewandowski apparently he's making good progress. Swiderski trained fully with Poland on today. Michaelenko had an MRI early in the week. He's looking possible to start for Ukraine. Go down the list. Mbappe and Coman missed training on Thursday. So this is what the news tab will give you. It's a little different than the injury tab, where the injury tab is basically, okay, I guess I'm not even signed in on my on my own. My Chrome signed me out of everything, so I'm gonna have to sign in here so we can actually see once I get into the cheat sheets here. But so here is the injury tab. We got estimated return date. We also have all the injury and then whether they're, game time decision or out. These are all the injuries for any player on Euro roster. Just a simple list showing you injured players. As with most stuff on our site, you can filter these. You can sort these however you want. It's pretty easy. The news part is just more about the news. The injury report has basically all the injuries. Our lineups page. Projected lineups, currently projected lineups for the first set of matches, for all of the matches. And also, I know a lot of the Twitter bros have come out and they're all, everyone wants to get in on the Euro game and plug in their projected lineups. I know that's going around. It seems like every morning I jump on Twitter and it's like, hey, here are my projected Euro lineups. And it's like, Just because you cover FPL doesn't mean like we need to see your Euro projections. But either way, I just find that funny. Every morning there's some new account that's on my timeline. So as you can see in these lineups, we have injuries, we have weather in case you care about weather. Look at this. We got the direction of the wind for this opener, 4 mile per hour wind at 150 degrees. I'm not a meteorologist, so I'm not entirely sure what direction that is. But we also have odds right here. Germany minus 360 to win this match. Scotland plus 1,000. The draw is plus 500. So all that is right there. And then once these are confirmed, this will go green. It's currently yellow. It will go green. It will say confirmed lineup. So I don't know if you want to bookmark this tab. Pretty easy spot where we have people on. We're gonna get these lineups in pretty much when they come out. With Premier League and Champions League, this is more like Champions League when lineups are going to come out. It's going to be probably from 60 minutes to 120 minutes before the match. That's when lineups are going to come out. At least that's my guess. There's going to be some teams like, you have your Real Madrids and your Barcelonas who sometimes release lineups 2-3 hours beforehand. There may be some teams like that at the Euros, but at a minimum, everyone should have their lineups out at least 60 minutes before match time. So expect those to be all confirmed at that point. And then we do have some stats for Euros. I mentioned we don't have qualifying stats, but we do have, if you want to go to the 2020 Euros, we have those stats. If you also want to click on World Cup stats from a year and a half ago, we have those stats. Again, it's not the most helpful thing, as all these rosters are different, but you can look at stats from the last World Cup. I think the last 2 World Cups maybe, and as well maybe the last 2 Euros. I actually have not looked myself, but at a minimum. So that's what we have here, and I guess I'll run through the betting page as well. It's just taking me a little longer than I thought, just because we have so much stuff. Again, here's the betting articles. I'm on the betting page right now, rotowire.com/betting/soccer. Here you can see the odds. Of course, there's MLS going on, so that's going to be on this. If you wanna filter that out, that's possible as well. But here's the date. You can check the date. But here, I'll click into this Germany-Scotland match, and we can see here we got odds for a few different sports books, and then you have line movement. So you can see from this, Germany were minus 425 to win. I think when the line released, actually, and that actually dropped pretty much immediately. All right, well, maybe not immediately. A month after, the odds dropped a little bit. So now it's down to minus 360 for Germany to win, minus 370 range. Also on this, we have projected lineups. We have the injuries and the news. So that's our betting page, if in case you've never ventured off into the betting space. So I think it's time. I think it's time to talk about this opening slate here. So let me go into the cheat sheets. I'll be using the DraftKings one. I will be talking about DraftKings. And again, we got an MLS preview for this weekend. Deke has his So Rare preview for MLS. We also have the MLS cheat sheet, which has 14 matches in it. I guess let me pull up this MLS sheet to show everyone. If anyone's new, I know a lot of people will be regulars here. Looks like we got a bunch of cheat sheets up. FanDuel released a ton of contests. Looking like we already got France, Austria prices over at FanDuel. And the day before. So shouts to FanDuel for always getting those prices out early, even if the contests are small. But just really quickly run through this MLS cheat sheet. We have our expected lineups in here. And then we have the odds report. So you can see the odds with win percentages, clean sheet percentages, implied goal totals, goal scoring odds. And then what we're not going to see for the first match, because we don't have qualifying stats. We don't have the recent stats here. So we're not going to see for the first match, we're not going to see the bottom half of these cheat sheets because there's nothing to show. There's no stats. We could pull stats, but I mean, when you look at qualifier stats, you still don't have in play, okay, this guy was actually out for the first half of the season, so he didn't play in qualifiers, but now he's a regular starter kind of thing. So I think that looking at prior stats in qualifying obviously is helpful, but to some extent, if lineups change, if there are injuries, They aren't the end all, is what you could say. So once the first match is played, we'll have the free kick tracker, as you can see, free kick shots, corners, free kick crosses. That'll be pretty easy to look at. Player stats per 90 minutes, goalie stats per 90 minutes, team stats per match, and then team conceded stats per match. That's what we're going to have after the first game. So as I click into this first cheat sheet, we're going to see that all we have, it ends at the goal scoring odds here. Because again, the stats issue. So let's get into this. Some of the contests, we got an okay size contest for this opener. We got a decent size contest for Saturday's classic 3-game slate. Again, with those, I guess we'll talk about on the show later. But staggered starts is always a little different, a little more difficult, and something you got to take into account here. So let's look at the Germany-Scotland lineups. Going to try and go through this really quickly here. So I'm going to try and do a full show without coughing. I think it's possible. So Germany, we're looking at this lineup. I think we're pretty good on what we're going to get here. It could be Havertz up front. It could be Füllkrug up front. I think it's looking like this is what the Germany squad's going to be. I mean, we know Kroos, Wirtz, Gundogan, Musiala, Havertz over Füllkrug, the back line with Rudiger and Top. It's seemingly that's what we're going to get. Middle stat, maybe the one question, but he's been playing a bunch. He had a great season. Kimmich at right back as well. So I don't think there's really any questions here. We look at it, we look at the prices, and everyone's like, okay, Joshua Kimmich, lock Kimmich. But then, okay, actually, Toni Kroos is the majority set piece taker. So let me look at the prices here. But Kimmich regular pricing, I guess he's not expensive as I thought he was. I thought he was more expensive for some reason. So he's $8K on the slate. He is more expensive than Leroy Sané if Sané starts. So he didn't really close the season at 100%. So Kimmich probably without set pieces unless Toni Kroos subs off, and then Kimmich will get set pieces in the final 10 minutes or whatever. This is a right back without set pieces. Maybe a differential, but maybe he's going to be popular just on name alone. Again, these tournaments are a little harder to project on who is actually playing. People, let's look at his game logs here. People will game log watch. So, I mean, you can look at it and, okay, he had a 15-point floor against Hungary. Maybe that's a constant thing. Maybe it's not. This actually, I think, these stats on DraftKings are from 3 years ago at the Euros. So I probably wouldn't use any of these stats, maybe just to look at them for fun. But I'm pretty sure these stats are they're from the Euros 3 years ago. So I'm not sure how much weight they actually hold. Scotland's lineup's a little different because they don't actually have a right back, a real right back that they actually want to start. So I actually have here, I kind of went on a ledge here. I was initially on John McGinn playing as some kind of right-sided wing back or something like that. Ryan Christie also an option. I decided to go a little more defensive because they're going against Germany here. And I know there's a chance that, what's his name? McCroy is an option to start on the right wing. And then the other option is, where is he? He must be expensive. Someone I'm blanking here on Porteous. It's not Porteous. Bad show by me. There's another right back that other places are projecting to start. It's Ralston. Ralston is 5,400. Ralston is a backup right back at Celtic. And so I looked at it like, okay, Nathan Patterson and Aaron Hickey both out injured. So they don't actually have a right back that they actually want to play. So I actually put I guess Tierney, if you want to consider Tierney not really a true center back here, but I kind of put Hendry in, normally a center back on this right side. It's shot in the dark here, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure how much it's going to matter for this. We're probably going to get Tierney as his left-sided center back with Robertson playing a little above him. And then if McTominay is healthy to start, the other question with this lineup would be, again, Ryan Christie and then Shankland at forward instead of Shea Adams. Those are the main questions. We're going to get McGinn in there. maybe it's not guaranteed Gilmore, McGregor start. McTominay and McGinn are their two guys. If both healthy, they're going to be in there, probably getting 90 minutes. Shea Adams, whoever starts at forward, Shea Adams or Shanklin, one of those guys, probably will not go 90 minutes. But here's the odds. We're getting implied total of 2.23 for Germany. Scotland is 0.71. Um, seems kind of extreme here. Scotland aren't Scotland aren't a good team. This is just my personal thoughts here. Scotland aren't a good team, but they have guys who can score. They have McTominay and McGinn. They have they have a midfield where it's going to be, if we look at this match, it's probably going to be Germany about 65% possession. So we're probably going to be in cash games at least. We're probably going to be 5-1 Germany Scotland builds because it's going to be 65% Germany possession. The question is if you're playing Neuer and if you think Scotland are going to get a goal off the break, is having McTominay, who always has a nose for goal. I think McTominay led qualifying for Scotland with 7 goals. McGinn was second with 3 goals. It's kind of funny that those are their top goal scorers, but I want to say McTominay had a couple hat tricks, but I think he had at least 1 hat trick in qualifying. Maybe I'm making that up, but still, I mean, you look at the squad and it's a lot of high level guys: Robertson, Tierney, Hanley, former Norwich center back, Gilmore in the midfield. Gilmore missed the majority of qualifying because he was coming off an injury, so he wasn't completely healthy. And then Ryan Christie, if he's coming off the bench or starting, just another guy who has plenty of experience in the Premier League. So just looking, as I said, with cash builds, you could take it where okay, just captain Cruz and get your 10 points or whatever he's going to get. There's always a chance, okay, there's 10 corners and maybe he gets 15 points, but Cruz doesn't have massive upside. I think there's a few different ways you can look at cash games, especially if you're going 5 German players. Cruz is really expensive for having limited upside, so he's not my favorite play by any means. One of my first looks was actually just go down a little bit, and Middlestat is, as a captain, 10.5K. He would just allow you to get a few of those high-end Germany pieces. Again, he took corners for Stuttgart this past season, so I mean we're looking at league stats right here. But even then, he'll be in a great spot against Scotland. He'll be on the same side as a Celtic backup right back or Hendry or whoever's playing on the right wing here for Scotland. So Middlestat will be attacking that left side. Florian Wirtz also going to be on that left side. So something to think about here, at least especially in tournaments. But with Middlestat, you can do a little more instead of the whole home strategy of, okay, Tony Cruz takes set pieces, let me captain him, and I'll find out the rest. Like if you captain Cruz, what else are you actually going to do in this lineup? So you're not gonna get Havertz. You're probably gonna have to make a decision between Musiala and Wirtz. I think both those guys are early sub risks. Looking at this lineup, probably Wirtz and Musiala are most likely to sub off, and then probably Havertz maybe 70-80. So that's another question of these German players. And Cruz, I think, is more likely to go 90 for Germany than he was for Real Madrid. Gundogan is also here. If you want Kimmich in this lineup, sure, go for it. It's not the worst thing, but you will have to fade. Okay, if you captain Cruz, you're probably gonna have to fade Havertz. You're probably gonna have to fade Musiala, and then probably Wirtz. You have to make a decision, I guess, between one of those 4 guys: Wirtz, Gundogan, Musiala, and Havertz. That'll have to be one of your decisions. For Scotland, probably just going to the bottom of the barrel and hoping for the best. Maybe McCroy starts as a right wing back, and that opens up a few more things. Maybe it's not the worst thing here with Cruz captain, Gundogan, Kimmich, Middlestat. You can get Wirtz in here, and then Ross McCrory as your cheap Scotland player. There's a few options. I just don't think Cruz is. I think we're going to get a lot of German floor points, and I'm just not sold on it being okay. Germany are, let's just get 10 floor points from Cruz, but we're expecting goals from Germany. I guess you can get an assist from Cruz, but I just think the upside combined with what we expect to be a pretty solid floor for a lot of these German attackers, even at fullback as well, can make Middlestat a little cheaper. I think you just get more in your roster, so where you're not to where you're not having to, kind of punt on a position. Um, I'll run through Scotland here because it's going to be a lot of 5-1 builds. So for Scotland, so for set pieces, it's not entirely certain here, but I think it'll be, I think if it's this starting 11, it'll probably be a split. We're going to get Robertson on the left side, and we're getting McTominay on the right. But then we're also going to get McGinn taking a free kick or two, maybe McGill in there as well. So there's four options, probably first pieces, McTominay and Robertson. Uh, that is my take on it. But again, nothing is certain. McTominay is coming back off of an injury, hasn't really been 100% for a little bit now, so maybe he's not going to be in set pieces because he's coming off an injury. I don't think he even played. Yeah, he didn't even play in the two friendlies for Scotland. So maybe, maybe if McTominay's not taking set pieces, maybe we'll get Robertson and McGinn and Gilmore in there. So at the end of the day, how much are we putting? How much do we care about that? Because Scotland, 30% possession, maybe a few set pieces, maybe a few corners. I think the way in tournaments is just to captain one of these guys, get a goal from Scotland. If you don't want to go for the win to nil route for Germany, a route would be Captain Adams, get a Shea Adams goal off of Shea Adams, who's 7,500 as a captain. Get him as a captain goal scorer, a little cheaper. You get a goal and a shot or two. And that just kind of opens up your lineup. Maybe Scotland score the first goal and Germany push for the equalizer and the winner, kind of a thing. Shankland, a little more expensive, so you can't really do that. But in terms of who you want to play, Robertson's not my favorite here, just because split of set pieces, still pretty expensive in the spot. Not expected to have a ton of possession. McGinn is still kind of expensive as well. McTominay is surprisingly cheap, given that he had 4 more goals than any other player in qualifying for Scotland. So McTominay might be somewhat popular there. Ralston, if he is, more people are projecting Ralston to start at wingback. Too expensive for me. Christie, if he starts, he will probably go about 70 minutes. Adams, probably the same thing. Tierney, I know people have played Tierney in the past, but if he's playing in the center back role, obviously make sure you're looking at lineups here. If he's playing in the center back role, you're probably not going to want to play him. Gilmore, again, as I said, maybe we'll take a corner or two. 4,400, not the most expensive player. And then going to the bottom of the barrel, if McCrory starts as your right wing back, he is min price. So, and then Hendry, Porteous, those other guys are 3,400. So yeah, that's kind of what we got here. I've kind of rambled a little bit. It's been a while since I've done a showdown show, but again, we're gonna have the 3-game preview from Ryan and Jack. We're also got an article coming from Jack Burkhart later today for Saturdays. Pretty decent sized contest. Before I go, I'll put together a Neuer lineup. I don't really like a Neuer captain, and I don't really like an Angus Gunn captain. I'll do it anyways. It's not my favorite thing, just because how many saves is Neuer going to get? It seems like, okay, Neuer's maybe a max of 2 saves, and if he does face shots, a lot of them will come off the counter. It doesn't feel like a great move, so let's captain Neuer. And who do we want? Havertz for his brace that he scores up top, and then Musiala will get. Maybe it's like 3-0 and Germany only have 4 set pieces. So we're actually going to fade Cruz, because Cruz will probably be, what? I don't know. I have no idea what the percentages would be. I was going to say over 50%, but maybe around 50% for Cruz. Let's just fade Cruz here. You could also take the route of, okay, let's go full Krug off the bench, kind of a thing, if that's what the lineups look like. So we'll plug in. Let's just do a center back here. Lime, no, not Lime Cooper. McGregor in the midfield, 3,200. Didn't mention him before. So, okay. So, Manuel Neuer, captain. Uh, Not my favorite move here. Not my favorite move. Let's just hope for 4 saves, the win and the clean sheet, and let's see what happens there. And then we don't want a brace from Havertz in this spot, so let's just get a goal from Havertz, assist and 8 floor from Musiala. We'll get a goal from Gundogan with a small floor, and we'll get Kimmich. Will have he'll be at the field plenty, so he'll have a pretty decent floor. Didn't even mention Middlestat here. Middlestat also an option. And then McGregor here. So you got 100 left. There's the Manuel Neuer captain on the spot. That's all I got, though. You can find me at Zdroik on Twitter. Follow RotoWire Soccer. Thank you for watching this. We're going to have, again, I guess I don't know if I said already, but we're going to have fairly frequent, almost daily DFS content and some betting content as well. Ryan and Jack are going to grind pretty heavy on the videos. We'll see how many articles we get, but there will be frequent videos, I'll say. We haven't sent an actual schedule yet. It's kind of dependent on what size these contests are from DraftKings. So if you're still watching, that is kind of what we're waiting on. We're just waiting to see what these secondary contests look like. Because for this opener, we got the 150K kickoff special, 50K to first, and then there's some bigger near posts, a bigger equalizer, bigger sweeper, bigger contest all around kind of a thing. So we're waiting to see what these other classic contests look like. But for now, the plan is to do, pretty constant stream of videos. So shouts to Jack and Ryan for those. Good luck at the Euros. Good luck having fun watching these matches. We're only a couple weeks removed from the Champions League final, but we got more stuff going on. So thank you for watching this. RotoWire.com/soccer trial for a 40-hour trial to get in on all our content here for the tournament. But thank you for watching. We'll see everyone over the next month.